大学录取率再创新低的情况下，为了让华人子弟可以进入理想的大学，我们特别邀请到业界权威 Admission Masters 升学规划教育机构执行长 Jenny Wheatley。执行长 Jenny Wheatley 是约翰霍普金斯大学教育硕士，拥有多年 UCLA 以及约翰霍普金斯大学入学审核经历，获颁哈佛大学入学审核资格证书 ，Teach for America 成员及老师。为家长及初高中生以英文分析如何成为富有竞争力的申请人。2022年录取学生背后的奥秘。
Hi everyone. I don't know if everyone can see me and hear me. Hopefully you can. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jenny Wheatley. I'm so excited to be here today. We are going to be talking about how to make yourself a competitive applicant. And I'm really excited. I only have 30 minutes, so it's going to be going fairly quickly. I'm going to be trying to go through a lot of the big kind of information, as much as the best content that I can give you guys possible. So once again, just so excited to have you guys here. My name is Jenny Wheatley, and we're going to talk about how to make yourself a competitive applicant. And I'll dive into this year's admitted students and applications. I apologize, but I do not speak Chinese. I will be speaking English the entire time today. So all of you English speakers, hopefully you guys are going to be joining us today. And at any time, if you do have questions, you can use the Q&A function on the Q&A part of our seminar. And if you type in a Q&A and I can get to those questions at the very end, hopefully, I have 30 minutes. I'll try to get through as much of my content as I can so I can answer your questions. If you do have questions, please shoot them over for the Q&A and I'd be more than happy to answer them for you guys. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started to talk about today's seminar. Before I do, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Admission Masters. So Admission Masters is named the #1 educational consulting organization in Southern California. We are a group of former admission officers from universities across the nation. So we have counselors who have had experiences from colleges all over the United States, from UCLA to Hopkins to Yale to UPenn to Stanford to Harvard, all of these really, really amazing schools. And so I think that's what makes us different, is this opportunity for admission officers and former admission officers to work with our students and your students personally so we can help them in their college admissions and applications process. We are the leader in college admissions and boarding school. And we use a team approach with college admissions. And in Admission Masters, we specifically use a team approach to help our students. So we have counselors who work with you one-on-one, but we also have counselors who are going to be helping you with other things like essays, with your projects, with your writing, with your uniqueness, right? So many other things that we kind of focus on to really approach that team approach. And we have a personalized program. We don't believe that education is a one-size-fits-all. Education is not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody has different goals. Everyone has different ambitions. They have different strengths and talents and weaknesses. And we want to utilize that because, like I said, every single person is different. So that's a little bit about Admission Masters. Let's go ahead and dive in to our seminar now. I want to start with telling you guys about the results for this year. So 2022 admissions results, I'm sure many of you guys have heard already that it was very, very tough this year to get accepted into colleges, with UCs capping the number of students who can get enrolled, with colleges overall just having so many competitive applicants, with a lot of colleges being test optional. It's just become a lot more difficult for people to get accepted into colleges. So I wanted to highlight a couple of admissions rates here, and you guys can see down the line, obviously for schools like Harvard, this year they had a 3% acceptance rate, but you'll see Columbia at 4%, Yale at 4%, Vanderbilt at 6%, Hopkins at 6%, right? All of these colleges had a really, really challenging year for admissions. Now, despite the challenging year, Admission Masters saw the highest record results that we have seen. I have been working with admission masters for 13 years, and this is the highest record of admissions that we've seen in my time working at admission masters. So despite the fact that admissions was so difficult this year, we had 11 school students at Harvard, 16 at Stanford, 12 at Yale, 22 at Penn, 19 at Cornell, 8 at Dartmouth, 13 at Columbia, 10 at Brown, 8 at Princeton, 28 at Duke, 9 at MIT, 14 at Vanderbilt, 52 at USC, 56 at UCLA, and 55 at UC Berkeley. And that's just the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. We have seen so many other really great results this year. So we had people contacting admission masters and being like, hey, what did you guys do? What did your students do? What were some of the things that worked for you guys? People kind of contacting us, newspaper organizations asking us to kind of talk about the different strategies that admission masters took to get our students, accepted. And honestly, our students worked very, very hard, and we're lucky that we had the opportunity and the small part in their successes, but we were very, very pleased by their results. So today I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what we did with our students. I'm going to talk about what our students did to get them accepted, give you guys some strategies that you can use and start thinking about so that you can get these results as well. So let's start with, what did admission masters do right? Well, there are 6 things that I can think about that we did really well in admissions this year, and that we've consistently been doing well with our students. The first one is activities, and I'll be diving into each of these things momentarily, but activities is one thing that we have worked on with our students for a long time. As the moment you sign up with admission masters, we try to do what we can to improve our students' activities to get to a point where they are unique and impactful and powerful, which is really important. Major selection, which I feel like a lot of parents don't kind of discuss a lot with their students. Maybe you talk about major, about what they want to do in the future and what their college kind of looks like, and even beyond college, but we talk about major as it relates to strategy. Uniqueness, we talk about college lists, things that we've done, essays and storytelling, how you can tell your story and how you can write your essays in order to stand out. And strategic planning. I think strategic planning is really important. College application and admissions process is an art form. It is an art to do, for your college applications, and that entire journey. College admissions is getting harder and harder every single year. So it really takes a lot of strategy, and we want to talk about that strategy specifically. Okay, so let's start with activities. What type of activities are college admissions looking for, and what type of activities should I be doing? What did admission masters kind of help students do when it came to developing their activities as well? The first one is major related. So just so you guys know, on the common application, which is the private school application that you guys will be using to apply for colleges, there are 10 spaces for activities, 10 spaces on the common app for activities. 5 of those 10 spaces should be major related activities. They should be activities that are related to your major. And we're going to talk about major next. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about what type of majors you guys need to be considering, but they should be related to your major. If you plan on majoring in psychology, you should have 5 of those 10 activities related to psychology. One of the best ways that college admissions will know how passionate you are about what you want to study and what you want to do is through your activities. So showing those major related activities is very, very important. The second type of activity that you should be doing is showing intellectual curiosity. So summer activities, the reason why we say summer is so important is because summer activities can show your intellectual curiosity. So things like research opportunities with professors, internships that you can do, at your local, organizations or businesses could be a great way to show intellectual curiosity. At the end of the day, colleges want to know that you are someone who wants to learn, right? Colleges want students who genuinely desire to learn, not just students who are going to school and getting good grades and they could memorize, vocabulary words and dates. They want students who enjoy the process of learning, that it's like, this is something that I really enjoy learning. This is something that I really enjoy doing. So psychology, for example, doing research opportunities with psychology could be a way to show that intellectual curiosity. Now, with that being said, a lot of people think research has to be done with a professor. Oh, I have to do it at, a college with a professor. Sure, that could be good, but research can also be done with a good mentor. Research could also be done independently. A lot of our students, because of COVID, right, because of COVID-19, a lot of times they weren't able to do research with a professor because, a lot of colleges had their own kind of rules as to what students can do at their college. And so a lot of our students did research on their own with our mentors. So research does not necessarily need to be with a professor. It could be with a college student, a graduate student, or just someone that is a good mentor that can help you develop that research. The third type of activity that you guys should be thinking about is activities that make a community impact. Colleges want to see that you genuinely care about your community. You care about the situations that are happening in your community. You care about the things that you want to do to make your community a better place to live, right? So of those 10 activities that you put on the Common App, 3 of those activities should show a level of community impact, right? I have a desire to make a difference in my community. I want to do something to make a difference. I will use my talents and my strengths and my intelligence, right, and my skill sets to make a difference in my community. And those types of activities do matter. The last type of activity that you can consider are activities that can give you awards. On the Common application, there are 5 slots that you can write academic awards in. And yes, they do have to be academic awards. So they can't be like art awards or music awards, because unfortunately, they don't count as academic awards. So you could have activities like debate or mock trial or the USACO, which is the USA Computing Olympiad, or AMC, the American Math Competition. There are so many competitions that are out there that you can use, and those are great for awards opportunities. I will give you guys 2 awards opportunities that you can write down right now, okay? The first award opportunity is an international essay competition called the John Locke Essay Competition. The John Locke Essay Competition is due in June. Locke has an E at the end, by the way, so make sure you write John Locke with an E, essay competition, and there are many different categories that you can compete in. That is due in June. It's a great award opportunity. It's an international award opportunity run by Oxford, so it's just an awesome opportunity for students to consider research and a competition. The other competition that's coming up that's due in June as well is the Ocean Awareness Competition. The Ocean Awareness Competition are competitions that are really, really good for students who are good at art, right? Are interested in environmental sustainability. This year's competition for the Ocean Awareness, the topic is what the funny thing about climate change. And they have, you could do an artwork, you can do music, you can do creative writing, you can do a poem, you can do multimedia art, like you can create a website or create a TikTok video. And the reason why these still count as academic awards is because even if you're submitting an artwork or things like that, you have to include 100-word reflection, which is an essay that you need to write. And so it's still considered an academic award if you do well with the Ocean Awareness Competition. And sure, I can type it in here as well. Someone asked. So the John Locke essay competition, you can just type it on Google and find it. And the Ocean Awareness Competition is the other one. Both of those are due in June. You can look it up for specific information on the deadlines as well. So if you have students who are interested in getting some awards opportunities, those are 2 awards that are coming up. Admission Masters gives awards opportunities to students every single month. So there's some sort of a competition that's happening every month. And just because, you can't win every single award. Some of these competitions are very competitive. And so we will give awards opportunities to our students and also help them with those awards competitions. So we have like the John Locke essay competition. Our students are getting support with our counselors on writing and drafting those essays as well. So those are two big ones that you guys can think of right now for awards opportunities, but colleges are obviously looking for students to show their level of interest and their level of intellectual curiosity as well through awards competition. So those are some things that you should take into consideration. Major selection. When you guys think about major selections, a lot of you guys think about what you're going to do 5 to 10 years from now. What am I going to be when I grow up? What am I going to do 5 to 10 years from now? You know, I learned a statistic recently that for 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, students who are in kindergarten right now, those students actually, when they grow up to get jobs in the future, 52% of those jobs have not been created yet. We don't even know what the future looks like. And college admissions totally understands that. And so when college admissions is asking you to choose a major, they're not asking you to think 5 to 10 years down the line. They're actually asking you to think about what you are passionate about now, your strengths, your talents, your interests. What is it that you're currently interested in? Almost 99% of students change their majors at least one time in college. That is very normal. I wanted to be a doctor when I was from very young age. I'm not a doctor now. I actually love what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I do. That's not what I do now. And so we know that students will change their minds and their future aspirations in the future. Colleges want to see what you are interested in currently, what you want to do right now at this moment. Okay. So it's super important to think about your strengths, talents, and interests currently. Of course, I have parents out there that are like, I have no idea what my child is interested in. I have students out there right now who are like, I don't even know what my strengths and talents are. We help in that aspect, right? We kind of help our students to figure out what their strengths, talents, and interests are and try to get them to a major that would be ideal for them. So majors are really important. Admission Masters has our students choose some sort of major by 10th grade at the latest, so we can give them a general direction of where they should be going with that major, right? It can give you an idea of what courses to take, what types of things to do over the summer, and your overall activity planning all depends on your major. So choosing that major selection early is important so that it can give you a sense of direction and what to put on your application as well. So when you think about majors, I want you guys to think about strategy, specifically non-impacted majors. So colleges have something called impacted majors, which are competitive majors, and non-impacted majors, which are less competitive majors. And you can find out about this. A lot of colleges have this information available on their website. So to give you an example, business is a competitive major at many colleges. Instead of majoring in business, you may want to consider non-impacted majors like statistics or data science or econ or even international relations. Political science is another competitive major. Instead of political science, you might want to consider philosophy, or international relations is another really good one for political science, or history, European studies, East Asian studies, right? These are less impacted majors for colleges, and every college is different in terms of what impacted and non-impacted majors that they have, but this is something that you should consider. Now think about what your talents are and what you're good at, because you're going to have to do activities that are related to that major. So don't choose a major that, you know, maybe you're like, yeah, I could do history, but you're not doing well in your history classes, or history is not something that you're interested in. You have to do a major that's aligned with your strengths, interests, and talents as well. Music competitions do not count as award opportunities for the Common App. The Common App asks for 5 academic awards. So music and art, they don't count. That's a great question though, as well. Computer science, someone asked what's good options for computer science. So under the engineering field, environmental engineering and mechanical engineering are a little bit less impacted than electrical engineering or computer engineering particularly. But for computer science, I do have students who do computational biology Data science is another good one for computer science. Machine learning AI is also something that's a little bit of a harder level, but also a good one for colleges who do offer that major. Okay, I'm almost running out of time. I think I still have 10 minutes. Okay, so uniqueness. Uniqueness is also a very important aspect, right? I'm sure all of you guys who are here listening to my seminar, a lot of you guys happen to be of Asian descent, right? You guys are from Asian backgrounds or Asian cultures. And so Asian American students have a little bit of a harder time of getting accepted into college, mostly because there's so many of us, right? And so uniqueness is really important for Asian students in particular, right? I know I have parents and students who are like, oh, I have a student who got accepted into Harvard. Oh, that's great. You have a student who got accepted in Harvard. What did they do? Oh, they did this and this and this and this. I'm going to do that too, right? That's not what we want in college admissions, right? College admissions is they want to diversify their student body. They want students with different talents. They want students with different uniquenesses, different strengths, right? For example, we might want a trumpet player. We might want a tennis player. We might want a really great artist. We might want a really great writer. We want to diversify our admissions, right? So it's super important for you guys to think about the majors you choose, the activities that you do, your story and your background, your passions, and lastly, the teacher recommendations. The teacher recommendations are so important. In my experience as an admissions officer, 82% of students submitted average recommendation letters, just okay, right? They were just average, right? The students, they're good, they raise their hand in class, just average recommendation letters, right? In general, only 3.4% of students submitted excellent recommendation letters. So what does that mean, right? That is a uniqueness factor, right? If you're a student right now, or you're a parent, you're like, yeah, my child raises their hand a lot in class, they're going to get a good recommendation letter. No, they're going to be one of the 82% students who get average recommendation letters. Raising your hand in class is not enough to get a top recommendation letter. Top recommendation letter means that you have a personal relationship with your teacher, right? It means that if your teacher is out sick for 3 days and they come back to school, that your student asks your teacher, are you feeling okay? Are you okay? Is your family okay? Right? Asking personal questions, spending time during lunch or after school to have relationships with those teachers, right? Relationship building is so important in college admissions. It's one of the biggest soft skills that college admissions look for. And teacher relationships and teacher recommendation letters show us how well you're able to build relationships with your teachers. I have also read bad recommendation letters as well. Teachers are honest. So if you're going to ask a teacher for recommendation letters, you should be very confident that they are going to be writing really good recommendation letters for you, and that they should have a personal relationship with you as a student and a teacher, right? And so just raising your hand is not enough. So I'm going to give you guys a tip. May 3rd is Teacher Appreciation Day. May 3rd is Teacher Appreciation Day. May 2nd to May 6th is Teacher Appreciation Week. So it's nice to give your teachers a gift, but more important than the gifts that you can give your teachers is a personalized card or a letter that you can write to your teacher. I was a teacher for 4 years, and I've gotten gifts as a teacher from my students, but the ones that I remember the most are my students who wrote me very nice, kind, personalized letters. So don't forget about Teacher Appreciation Day and Teacher Appreciation Week. Make sure that is something that you do. I just saw a comment, the art of kissing up. It's not just kissing up. Like I said, it's really networking and building relationships. You can call it how you can, but this is something that would be very, very beneficial for our students as well. Okay. So next one is your college list. When students create the college list and parents create the college list, a lot of you guys only think about top tier colleges. Like, oh, I want to go to an Ivy League school. Oh, I want to go to UCLA, UC Berkeley. That's the only college I want to go to. That's it. But really, college list is about fit, right? Every college has different personalities and characteristics traits that they look for in their students and applicants. That fit factor is a really important aspect in your college list, right? Because if you don't fit that school, they might not choose you because you don't necessarily fit their characteristics and personality traits. So just to give you some examples, Johns Hopkins likes students who are spontaneous and adventurous. That is a characteristic and personality trait that they appreciate about their students. Harvard likes servant leadership, students who are leaders, but they are service-oriented leaders. Princeton likes creative students. Columbia also likes creative students, students who are using their creativity to solve problems or using their creativity to make a difference, right? Every college has their own set of personality traits and characteristics that they really appreciate about students. So that's something that you need to make sure that you keep in mind. The second thing that you need to think about when you create your college list is financial needs. Every college has different financial needs and what they care about, right? Need blind versus need aware, right? Do they care about how much financial aid you need, or are they not going to look at that? Are they going to overlook that? International versus domestic. Are you a student that's from the United States, or are you a student that's from international or has a visa status, which you'll have to pay higher in tuition too, right? There are colleges that really like international students. There are colleges that like more domestic students. These are things that you need to consider. So your financial situation is a very important aspect of what you need to be considering when you're choosing your college list. And also your future ambitions. Every college has their own strengths, right? If you are a student who wants to go into the humanities realm, maybe you want to study history or political science, Carnegie Mellon or Caltech might not be the best option for you for colleges because they're a very STEM-based school, right? So thinking about what your future ambitions are and what you want to do in the future is really important to think about your college list as well. All of those things will be taken into consideration when you're thinking about this as well. I was saying that Johns Hopkins really likes spontaneous and adventurous students, Okay, so essays and storytelling. So what I like to think about when I help my students write their essays is that it is a zipper. It is zippering up your application. So what do I mean by that? Your application has many moving parts. It has your activities, it has your major, it has your teacher recommendation letters, it has, your grades and your GPA and your test scores, all of that, right? Your essays are what put all of that together. It's like the glue that brings your application together. And because of that, when you are writing your essays, you need to really think about your topic, right? When you think about your topic, you want to think about how it relates to your major, right? Why you're passionate about the major that you're doing. If you are future oriented, right? They want to know that you are someone who thinks about the future. Someone who's like, this is something that I know is going to be a problem in the future, and this is what I want to try solving. It should be very future oriented. It should be personality focused, right? Your essay is not the time for you to talk about your academics. It's not the time for you to talk about your GPA or how hard it was to study for your APUSH exam, right? Your AP US history exam. It's your opportunity to talk about your personality, your resilience, your commitment, your dedication, your humor, right? Any of these things are things that you want to express in your essays. It shouldn't have to do with your academics. Admission officers already can see your academics through your transcript and what you submit on your application. And lastly, it should be personal. It should be genuine, right? It should be something that you tell me about your life story, about where you are today, about what you're doing throughout your life to make it very valuable and important. It should show a connection, stories that will allow the readers to make a connection from your activities and your passions. For example, I had a student who was working with immigrants and helping them with interviews for their green card, right? And they wrote an essay about why they did that. And it was because they were an immigrant themselves and they realized how hard the interviews were. And that's why they did that in their activities. That is a connection. That is an activity. That is a passion that you can consider as well. And then growth. Colleges like students who consistently want to be better. They want students who want to grow and get bigger in life. They want students who want to get out of college and make an impact beyond their college community. So, colleges want to accept the next presidents, the next leaders of big organizations, the movers and shakers of our world. Super important for you to also consider that you want to grow into that person as well, so that colleges feel like they can invest in you, so that they can choose you for your to be admitted to the school. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 students really quickly. I think I have a couple minutes here. I changed the names of these students because of their anonymity. I don't want you guys to call up Melissa and be like, "What did you do, Melissa? How did you get into Stanford?" So I changed their names, but all of their academics and their activities and their essays are their actual application information. So Melissa was accepted to Stanford this year, and she was actually accepted to many Ivy Leagues as well, but Stanford was her school of choice. She had a 4.0 unweighted GPA and a 4.7 weighted GPA. She got a perfect 36 on her ACT score. She took a total of 11 APs, and this was her junior year, by the way, her junior year, end of junior year AP scores. So she had 9 5s and 2 4s by the end of her junior year. And one of the biggest things that she did that really stood out to me was that she got second place at the Harvard Global Health Leadership Conference, which is a really big leadership conference specifically. Her top activities, she founded a public health project where she developed a curriculum and designed a curriculum about public health, and wrote a book about public health and gave it to middle school students and taught a class for public health. She was the founder and editor-in-chief for the International Global Health Journal, where she took other research articles from high school students and published it onto the International Global Health Journal. And for those of you who might be in Orange County, she was a Dragon Kim Fellow and finalist. She ended up winning first place, which is a competition for community impact, where you get grants by the Dragon Kim Foundation to do and lead a project. Her essays were about her personal story and journey with music. Now, a lot of you guys might think like, "Jenny, you told us that essays should zipper up your application." Well, it didn't look like she did music. Like, why did she write an essay about music? She actually did do music. She was a really, really great musician, and she wrote an essay about how music has made an impact in her life, her way of thinking, and her dedication and commitment into the things that she did. So it was a really, really awesome thing here as well. And then she also talked about her family background and her experiences in medicine and health. Her grandparents were diabetic, and she talked about that experience and how that experience has kind of changed her and influenced her to want to go into this as well. Melissa majored in public health and health sciences. I had someone ask that question, so I just wanted to answer that for you guys as well. They just told me that my time is up. I will do one more student just to give you guys a difference. So Andrea got accepted to Harvard. She was a 4.0 student, 4.3 weighted, just to kind of show you guys a difference between Melissa and Andrea. Andrea, her school didn't allow for as many AP classes, so she didn't get to take as many as Melissa. But you can see that she had a spike in speech and debate. She was a national qualifier. These were her top activities, and her essays were also very passionate as well. And just to kind of show you for UCLA, since my time is up, I also wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit of these as well. For UCLA. Now, I know that when I show you guys these samples, it may seem like, oh, I have to be this amazing, amazing student to get accepted into these schools. If that's not really the case. I think there's 3 big takeaways that I want to tell you when it comes to admissions. Number 1, I feel like you need to have a talent or spike in something that you feel really passionate about, a spike to show us that you are genuinely excited about something that you want to do. You have to make sure that you are a leader and that you're making a community impact. And those are the 3 things. And the biggest thing that I want to say about this quote is success is not a journey. It's not a destination, right? The people that are going to be on your journey with you are going to change you for a lifetime. And what you do right now is what's more important than the outcome, right? And so we want to support you and help in those areas as well. A lot of you guys asked me, can you give us the QR code again to talk about, let us know about Admission Masters? Here's a QR code. Use it. The QR QR code is also here on this side of my screen as well. So you guys can also use that QR code. If you guys have questions, I'm sorry, I only had 30 minutes, so I couldn't answer all of the amazing questions that are out there. Contact us and let us know. If you want a first meeting for our World Journal Seminar attendees, we are offering a free 1-hour consultation with our counselors. So you can ask questions all you want there as well. And we can give you more information there about your particular student. And thanks again to World Journal for inviting us. I hope this was helpful. I know it was really quick, but I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye, everyone. Thank you.